Imagine walking into your bedroom at night, turning off the lights and suddenly realizing the world has become a blur. The street lamps outside look like smeared halos, the glow of headlights feels like daggers, and the quiet confidence you once had moving through the dark is replaced with hesitation, even fear. It's not just getting older, it's your eyes sending you a message. I'm Dr. Brian, and welcome to Ageless Garden. For decades, I've worked with men and women over 50 who thought fading night vision was inevitable. But here's the truth. Hidden in the very foods we often overlook are powerful compounds that can nourish and protect your eyes while you sleep. No expensive treatments, no complicated routines, just nature's own design. Tonight, I'll share 4 humble leafy greens that can brighten your vision naturally, and one of them is so overlooked, most people throw it in the trash. When most people think of spinach, they picture a soggy pile on a school lunch tray, or maybe a cartoon sailor flexing his muscles. But behind that humble leaf lies one of the most powerful eyesight improvement foods known to science. Spinach isn't just a vegetable, it's like a shield tailor-made for aging eyes. Here's why. Inside spinach are 2 golden compounds, lutein and zeaxanthin. If those words feel a little heavy, think of them this way. They're like natural sunglasses your body can actually store inside the back of your eye. They sit right in the macula, that tiny spot in your retina that controls your sharpest vision. Their job? To absorb the harsh, damaging blue light that comes not just from the sun, but from car headlights, street lamps, even the glow of your phone at night. Now, if you're over 60, your natural stores of lutein and zeaxanthin have been slowly declining for years. That's why the glare from headlights feels so brutal, or why signs look fuzzy once the sun goes down. Your natural filter is wearing thin. But when you eat spinach, especially before bed, you're topping off those filters right before your eyes enter their repair cycle during sleep. It's like filling up the gas tank before a long night drive. There's real science behind this. A study published in the Journal of Ophthalmology found that older adults who regularly ate foods rich in lutein and zeaxanthin had a 40% lower risk of developing night vision problems, not from supplements, not from a bottle, but from real whole foods. Spinach was at the top of that list. I remember a patient of mine, George, who was 71. He told me he'd stopped driving at night altogether. The glare was too overwhelming, and he hated depending on others to get him home. Together, we made a small, almost laughably simple change. Half a cup of sautéed spinach with his dinner, 5 nights a week. 3 weeks later, George came into my office beaming. "Doc," he said, "I drove home from my daughter's last night. First time in months. No panic, no blinding glare. Just me and the road again." That's not a miracle. That's the body finally getting the fuel it had been craving. Spinach does more than filter light. It's also rich in vitamin A, one of the most essential nutrients for night vision. Without enough vitamin A, your eyes can't produce the pigment needed to see in low light. That's why people with deficiencies struggle to adapt when they go from bright to dark. On top of that, spinach brings vitamin K and natural nitrates, which help keep the blood vessels in your eyes flexible and well-nourished, lowering inflammation that can damage delicate retinal tissue. But here's the trick most people miss. Spinach's star nutrients are fat-soluble. That means if you just munch on raw leaves, your body won't absorb much. Pair it with a little healthy fat, olive oil, avocado oil, even a touch of ghee, and suddenly your absorption skyrockets. I often recommend a simple sauté. Toss fresh spinach into a warm pan with olive oil, garlic, and a pinch of sea salt. In 2 minutes, you have a side dish that tastes delicious and feeds your eyes. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, is it really that simple? Just spinach with dinner? And the answer is yes. Sometimes the most profound changes in health don't come from complex treatments. They come from the small, repeatable habits that stack up over time. By adding spinach in the evening, you're aligning the nutrients your eyes need with the very hours they're working hardest to heal. So if night driving has become stressful, if you've noticed yourself squinting to read in dim light, or if you're just tired of that hazy glow around street lamps, spinach may be the first, easiest step toward reclaiming your vision. It's proof that the path to better eyesight doesn't always run through a pharmacy. It can begin right in your kitchen. If spinach is nature's sunglasses, then Swiss chard is nature's circulation booster for the eyes. And yet, when I mention it to patients, I often get puzzled looks. Swiss chard? Isn't that just some kind of decorative green with colorful stems? The truth is, this underrated leafy green holds one of the most important keys to keeping your vision clear as you age: blood flow. Here's the reality many people don't realize. Your eyes are filled with some of the smallest, most delicate blood vessels in your entire body. They're like tiny garden hoses, feeding oxygen and nutrients to your retina and optic nerve. But with age, those vessels can stiffen, narrow, or become sluggish. When that happens, your vision starts to fade not because your eyes are broken, but because they're starving. They're not getting the nourishment they need to thrive. This is where Swiss chard shines. It's loaded with natural nitrates, the same kind of compounds found in beets. When you eat Swiss chard, your body converts those nitrates into nitric oxide, a gas that relaxes and opens up blood vessels. Think of it as unclogging a kinked hose in your garden. Suddenly, the water flows freely again. In the same way, nitric oxide helps blood flow smoothly into the tiniest vessels of your eyes, delivering the oxygen and nutrients needed to keep your vision crisp and sharp. There's strong research to back this up. A large study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that diets high in leafy, nitrate-rich vegetables were linked to a 20–30% reduced risk of glaucoma in older adults. Glaucoma is one of those silent thieves of sight, creeping in without warning until damage is already done. But here we have a simple, food-based way to reduce the risk. No side effects. Just eating a plant that's probably been sitting ignored in the produce aisle. One of my patients, Linda, age 68, is a perfect example. She came to me not because of blurry vision, but because she kept waking up with a heavy, aching pressure behind her eyes. She thought it was just fatigue, but when we checked, her intraocular pressure, the pressure inside her eyes, was creeping up. That's a major risk factor for glaucoma. Instead of jumping straight to medication, I suggested she add Swiss chard to her dinners 4 nights a week. Nothing fancy, just sautéed lightly with olive oil and a squeeze of lemon. Within 6 weeks, her eye pressure dropped, and she came back saying, "It feels like a fog lifted. I didn't even realize how heavy my eyes had been until they felt light again." Swiss chard also carries another gift for aging eyes: magnesium. This mineral is often overlooked, but it plays a crucial role in relaxing blood vessels, regulating blood sugar, and reducing nerve pressure. Many older adults are deficient without knowing it, and that can lead to muscle tension, fatigue, and yes, even eye strain. By eating Swiss chard, you're not just boosting circulation, you're soothing the whole system that supports your eyes. And don't worry, you don't need to be a gourmet chef to enjoy it. The broad green leaves cook down quickly, and the colorful stems can be chopped and sautéed just like celery. Pair it with garlic and olive oil, maybe sprinkle in a few red pepper flakes, and you'll have a dish that feels far from health food. Here's the deeper point. Vision loss doesn't always announce itself with flashing warning signs. Sometimes it creeps in quietly. Sluggish circulation, rising pressure, a slow dimming you barely notice until it's harder to reverse. But by giving your eyes the support they need before bedtime, by feeding them something as simple as Swiss chard, you give them the chance to heal, to breathe, to function the way they were meant to. Your eyes aren't failing you. They're asking for help. And sometimes that help comes in the form of a leafy green with rainbow stems. Most of us are familiar with beets, the deep red roots that stain your cutting board and have a sweet, earthy flavor. But here's the secret that almost everyone misses. The real treasure isn't hiding beneath the soil. It's growing on top. Those leafy greens you've probably chopped off and tossed in the trash are actually one of the most potent eyesight improvement foods you can eat. Beet greens are a hidden gem, and they can transform the way your eyes age. As we grow older, one of the most damaging forces on our vision isn't just wear and tear, it's silent inflammation. Think of it like a slow, smoldering fire in the tissues of your eyes. Over time, that fire can cause dryness, irritation, blurriness, and eventually contribute to more serious issues like macular degeneration. Beet greens are packed with natural compounds that help put out that fire. One of those compounds is betalain, a powerful antioxidant that fights oxidative stress, the process where harmful molecules called free radicals chip away at healthy cells. Your retina is especially vulnerable to this stress because it's one of the most metabolically active parts of your body. Beet greens step in like a protective shield, neutralizing that damage before it robs you of clarity. They also provide a remarkable dose of vitamin K, which does more than keep your blood healthy. Research published in the journal Nutrients in 2022 showed that vitamin K-rich leafy greens were directly associated with lower levels of oxidative stress markers in the eyes of older adults, especially those with early signs of macular degeneration. In other words, people who ate greens like beet tops had measurable protection against the cellular wear that leads to vision loss. That's real, clinical evidence that food is medicine. But beet greens don't stop there. They also contain luteolin, a flavonoid with neuroprotective powers. Unlike many compounds that never make it past the blood-retina barrier, luteolin slips through and gets to work inside your eye's nerve cells. It helps calm inflammation at the cellular level, shielding delicate retinal neurons from damage. That means less eye strain, less of that gritty, dry sensation, and more resilience against the gradual blurriness that frustrates so many seniors. Let me tell you about Clara, a woman in her mid-60s who came to me frustrated and exhausted. Her eyes were constantly dry. She carried eye drops in her purse, by her bed, in her car, anywhere she went. She told me she was tired of feeling like she couldn't even read her granddaughter a bedtime story without having to stop and rub her eyes. Instead of another prescription, we started with something simpler: beet greens. I had her add them to her soups 3 nights a week. Within a month, she came back smiling. I read 3 stories last night, start to finish, without rubbing my eyes once, she said, her own eyes welling up with tears of relief. That's the kind of change that doesn't just heal tissue, it restores joy. Now, I won't pretend beet greens taste like candy. They can be slightly bitter, but bitterness in nature is often a signal of healing compounds. The key is learning how to prepare them. You can saute them with garlic and olive oil, fold them into a hearty soup, or even blend them into a green smoothie with banana to soften the flavor. Once you discover their earthy richness, you may actually start looking forward to them. Think about it. Something most people throw away could be your secret weapon against eye strain, inflammation, and blurred vision. That's the quiet power of beet greens. They remind us that healing doesn't always come in the form of pills or procedures. Sometimes it's the forgotten leaves at the top of a root vegetable, waiting to bring relief and restore the little pleasures of life, like reading without pain or watching your grandchild's face light up as you see them clearly. If spinach feels familiar and beet greens feel like a surprise, then dandelion greens might feel almost unbelievable. Yes, I'm talking about the same dandelions you once pulled out of your lawn or blew into the wind as a child. Beneath that reputation as a weed is a leafy green that may be one of the most powerful foods to boost eye health, especially as the years go by. Why would something so ordinary and so often discarded carry such extraordinary power? The answer lies in a compound called luteolin. Unlike lutein and zeaxanthin, which mainly filter light, luteolin works inside the nerve cells themselves. Think of it as a quiet repairman, moving into your retina at night to fix broken wiring, calm overheated circuits, and allow your eyes to rest and recover. Studies, including a 2023 review in Frontiers in Pharmacology, have shown luteolin's potential to delay retinal degeneration by reducing inflammatory signaling and supporting nerve cell repair. That's not just theory. That's science catching up to what traditional herbalists have known for centuries. When inflammation is high, the repair cycle of your eyes slows down. Normally, while you sleep, old cells are replaced, oxidative waste is cleared away, and tissues are refreshed. But if inflammation is smoldering, it's like asking your body to clean house during a storm. It just doesn't happen as efficiently. Dandelion greens help calm that storm, giving your eyes the quiet they need to heal deeply while you rest. I'll never forget Thomas, a 73-year-old retired postal worker. He loved his early morning walks, but he told me his vision had started to look milky, especially at dawn and dusk. We tried adjusting his medications, added eye drops, but nothing seemed to help. Finally, we introduced dandelion greens into his dinners 3 times a week. Nothing extreme, just half a cup of lightly steamed leaves with lemon and olive oil. Within a month, he came back and said, "Doc, I can see the moon clearly again." His words were simple, but the look on his face told me everything. He thought his night vision was slipping away forever. It wasn't. It just needed the right support. Now, I'll be honest with you, dandelion greens are bitter, and many people shy away from bitterness, but in the natural world, bitterness often signals powerful healing properties. The same compounds that make the leaves taste sharp are the very ones that detoxify your liver, stimulate digestion, and boost nutrient absorption. In fact, dandelion greens act as a gentle liver tonic, and there's a direct link between liver health and eye health. When your liver is overworked, toxins build up in your bloodstream, and your eyes often pay the price in oxidative stress. By supporting your liver, dandelion greens indirectly protect your vision. So how do you make them palatable? One of my favorite recommendations is to chop the leaves and mix them into warm lentils with olive oil and a splash of lemon juice. The richness of the lentils and the brightness of the lemon balance out the bitterness beautifully. Another option is to saute them quickly with garlic and a pinch of sea salt. The key is not to overcomplicate it. Sometimes simple preparation brings out the best in these humble greens. What I want you to take away is this. Don't underestimate the quiet power of what seems ordinary. The weeds in your yard may hold more healing potential than the most expensive supplement on your shelf. Dandelion greens remind us that health doesn't always come from the exotic or the rare. It often comes from what's been under our feet all along. For seniors facing hazy vision, glare at night, or that unsettling sense that the world is slowly dimming, dandelion greens offer a chance to turn back the clock in a way that feels natural, safe, and deeply rooted in both tradition and science. They don't just protect your eyes, they give you back your confidence, your independence in those small, cherished moments of clarity, like seeing the moon sharp in the sky again. By now, you've heard about spinach, Swiss chard, beet greens, and dandelion greens, four powerful foods to improve eyesight that many seniors overlook. But here's the secret. It's not just about knowing what to eat. It's about weaving these foods into your daily rhythm so your eyes receive steady, reliable nourishment. That's why I call this approach the four-leaf dinner ritual. It's not a diet. It's not a fad. It's a gentle, sustainable rhythm that works with your body's natural repair cycle. Here's the truth most people don't realize. Your eyes do most of their healing at night. While you're sleeping, tiny repair crews inside your retina are clearing waste, fixing damaged proteins, and strengthening fragile cells. But for them to do their job, they need the right tools, the nutrients found in leafy greens. If you give your body those nutrients right before bed, you're handing the repair crew fresh supplies at the exact moment they need them most. So how does this ritual work in practice? Step one is simple. Rotate your greens. One night spinach, the next Swiss chard, then beet greens, then dandelion greens. By rotating, you get a full spectrum of nutrients without burning out on one flavor. Each green has a unique gift. Spinach brings lutein and zeaxanthin. Swiss chard delivers nitrates for blood flow. Beet greens calm inflammation with betalains. And dandelion greens soothe and repair with luteolin. Think of it like a symphony. Each instrument adds something different, but together they create harmony for your eyes. Step two is cooking gently with a healthy fat. Nutrients like lutein and vitamin K are fat-soluble, which means your body absorbs them best when paired with oils like olive, avocado, or a small touch of ghee. A quick sauté or a light steam with oil ensures those healing compounds actually make it into your bloodstream instead of just passing through. Step three is timing. Eat your greens about 1 to 2 hours before bed. That gives your body time to digest, release the nutrients, and circulate them to your eyes right as the nightly repair cycle begins. It's like fueling up before a long journey. You don't wait until you're already on the road to fill the tank. Step four is portion size. You don't need mountains of greens to see benefits. Half a cup to 1 cup of cooked greens is enough. That's a side dish, not a chore. And if you enjoy them, you can certainly have more. Step five is personalization. Maybe you like your greens blended into soups, folded into omelets, or even tossed into a warm lentil salad. The ritual is about consistency, not perfection. Choose methods that feel satisfying and sustainable for you. Some of my patients even rotate through cultural dishes, one night Mediterranean style with olive oil and lemon, another night folded into a hearty Asian soup, Another night as part of a simple stir-fry. The variety keeps it enjoyable. Finally, step 6, consistency. This is not about eating perfectly every single night. Life happens. What matters is making this ritual a habit, something you return to again and again. Over time, the nutrients accumulate, your repair cycles strengthen, and you start noticing little shifts. Less glare at night, sharper contrast when reading, more confidence driving after dark. I've seen seniors who once dreaded nighttime errands begin to enjoy evening walks again, just because their vision felt clearer. That's the power of this ritual. It doesn't just protect your eyes, it gives you back parts of your life you thought were slipping away. Remember, these aren't exotic superfoods shipped from halfway around the world. They're humble leaves, available in most grocery stores or even growing in your yard. Yet when combined in a simple nightly ritual, they become one of the most effective, natural tools for vision restoration. Think of it as planting a garden inside your body, one that blossoms not with flowers, but with clarity, independence, and confidence. That is the gift of the four-leaf dinner ritual. So here's the truth, my friend. Fading vision is not the final chapter of your story. Your eyes are not giving up on you. They are waiting for the right support. Spinach, Swiss chard, beet greens, and dandelion greens may look humble, but together they can fuel your body's natural ability to heal and brighten your vision. Aging does not mean surrender. It means choosing every day to give your body what it needs to keep shining. I'm Dr. Brian. Thank you for joining me here on Ageless Garden. Take the first step tonight. Your future is still clear.